G'day, mate. What's your name?
Chloe Maddren.
Chloe Maddren. What do you do, Chloe?
I talk all the time. Comedy.
Talk all the time comedy.
Comedy podcasts, pretty much. Sometimes I walk a dog for a bit of cash, but
Nice.
that's mostly for me.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Crowdworkcast. My name's Andrew Barnett. Thanks so much for joining me. My guest this week is Chloe Maddren, comedian, podcaster, and just all-round good person. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't know Chloe particularly well before this episode, so this was a lot of fun actually getting a bit more to know Chloe. We'd worked together a handful of times. She's always been lovely backstage and very funny on stage. So, yeah, I thought this would be a fun chat. It definitely was. So if you enjoy Chloe, a couple of things you can check out. You can check out her podcast, which is called The Friend Request, which I've promised I will go on when I get limber enough because she makes people sit on the floor. Then you can also check out her Instagram, which is at Chloe Maddren, which is CHLOEMADDREN. And you can also find on her Patreon, she will have just released her comedy special, a 1 hour special, which is called Hot Girl Stuff, which is very funny. So yeah, if you enjoy this, go check out everything Chloe has going on, and you won't be disappointed. If you're enjoying the podcast, please do like, subscribe, all that sort of good stuff. And if you want to come see me live, I'm going to be in Brisbane. I have one show in Brisbane on the 22nd of August. Coming up, I'm going to be at the Good Chat Comedy Club. So I believe tickets, if they're not on sale right now, will be on sale very, very soon. So if you'd like to come see me, come see me. Give me a follow on social media, all that good stuff too. All right, that's enough plugging. For now, let's rip in. This is my episode with Chloe Maddren. So are you full-time in comedy now?
I would say 4/5 is comedy.
4/5.
Yeah.
That's
There's
good.
still a fifth of,
Dog walking and
yeah. I don't really want to give up the dog walking completely though.
But that's, I think, like 4/5 is probably like when that's like saying I do this and I've got a little side job.
Yeah.
So you do comedy and you've got a side job that you enjoy where you get to walk dogs, which is good.
I love it. I get to play with dogs. I don't have a dog. I have a cat. He refuses to be a dog no matter how much I ask him.
Yeah.
But it's nice. I get to hang out with dogs and get my steps up, you know?
Yeah. Good. 2 for 1, that one.
Yeah, I love it.
And Sydney's a tough place, especially living sort of around anywhere near the city, to be able to have a dog anyway.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, exactly. I was shocked how much of a need for dog walkers there were. Because I was working full time as a writer. It was like a great, dream-ish job, except there were issues. And it was driving me crazy. I was also using all of my words there during business hours, and then I'd get to writing or doing gigs, and I was like brain dead.
Yep.
So I was like, fuck this, I'm quitting my job. I want to walk all of the dogs. And my boyfriend was like, I don't know if there are that many dogs that you can support yourself. But I found them.
Man, I was actually at the Comedy Store before Christmas. I was hosting one of the shows leading in, and there was a group in the second row, 2 rows of them, that were dog walkers, a lady's dog walking business. She'd hired all these walkers, and this was their Christmas party. They went to the Comedy Store.
Okay.
And it was pretty funny. I wouldn't have thought there was that big a need for it, but they were all eastern suburbs based.
Yeah, okay.
And she'd said she just started a little business on her own, and then I need help.
Yeah.
And then she just basically had, there must have been 18 or 19 of them.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. People are bougie in Sydney, They don't have the time. They're busy, they're working, they need someone to walk their dog. Also, most of the dogs that I walk, it's their second or third walk of the day. They get walked in the morning, they get walked at the night. It's just to keep them busy. Also, I think a lot of it, there was a big influx because of COVID. A lot of people got dogs.
Yes.
And then when they went back to work, they have these anxious little puppies that are used to being coddled and hanging out all the time.
We got a dog during just coincidentally right at the start of one of the lockdowns.
Yeah.
But it was a dog, because our previous dog in one of the other lockdowns, we had to, had issues and we had to put her down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, which was a bit sad. But my youngest son in particular is just obsessed with dogs, loves dogs. So for his birthday, we got like after the grace time,
of course,
the grace period, we got a new puppy, little border collie, and
good dog.
great dog, great dog. But that was the thing. Like as a puppy, like everyone was home for just. That was when we went into a lockdown where like they did homeschooling for like a whole term.
Far out.
And so the dog's just like, this is the best. Yeah. Everyone's always here.
Yeah.
Now most days it's just me and the dog.
Yeah.
The dog looks at me like, what happened, man? We used to have it good. Everyone used to be here.
Oh, that's all right though. I'm sure you still spoil him.
No, mate, that dog is so spoiled by my son. Like he gets home from school every day. First thing he does, just gets changed, takes him for a walk. Just like loves it. Like
God, I think it's actually really helpful when you've lost a pet to get another pet.
Oh yeah.
You know? It's just, I mean, I had a cat die. So sad. Young too, was hit. Oh, awful. And it was just him and me. He was my best friend. Now I've got a live-in partner. You know, life's very different. But at that point, it was like me and this guy, ride or die, and it broke me. And I was scared. I was scared to love again. But now we got a cat, and it's really nice. I still miss my last boy, but it's nice to just like feel that bit of the heart a little bit.
But that's the thing. Like you sort of got to get, because if you, like I said, there's that grace period. But so it doesn't feel like you're just trying to replace.
No, of course.
But like it's some extra pet to have in your life, like something extra to be there. Like I like cats, but I'm like allergic in the sense that they give me like the sniffle. Like,
yeah,
fever pretty bad.
I get it too, honestly.
Really? You
just deal and eat antihistamines. But I'm sorry if I've got any cat fur flying off me.
No, I'm not that. Not
okay,
that.
Good.
But yeah, I always liked cats. But that was. But then the like I think my youngest he would have a menagerie if he could.
Yeah.
Like he just loves animals, always has. The older one can take or leave them. But
oh really?
Yeah, he enjoys playing with the dog, but then if like he didn't see the dog for a week, he wouldn't think to go looking for it. Like he's just very much in his own world. Like he's into music. He loves his guitar.
Yeah, okay. So okay.
He's quite happy to
sit
play. Well? He is 15.
Yeah, okay.
So
he's got other stuff on his mind.
Yeah.
That's fair.
15 and 13, man. They are crazy ages.
I bet.
Yeah.
God damn, it's just the two, right?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. And I couldn't afford more because the amount they're eating at the moment is fucking insane.
Yeah, it's really expensive. I had someone, I don't want kids, right? I had someone on the internet because I love to argue with strangers. That's my fucking job, actually. Someone on the internet was saying that he was like, well, what happens if... It was weird that he worded it like this as well. He's like, what happens if you die and then your partner gets old and he has no one to care for him? I was like, hang on. I wasn't going to care for him in the first place. I'll be old too.
Yeah.
Also, another caveat, he's the one with the heart condition. I'll be outliving him. But last of all, I'm like, we're not going to have kids. We're going to have a shit ton of disposable income that we can put into retirement planning, getting someone else to look after us.
But that doesn't, like... Okay.
Yeah, people are weird.
That's so bizarre. Like, yes, you're not the first. You wouldn't be the first couple on earth to not have kids and get through fine.
I know.
I bet that's the same kind of guy who would say that, oh no, gay couples shouldn't be allowed to have kids. And you're just like, well, what? How's your argument work with them? Because they also people don't die in pairs all the time. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. If you really love them. If you really love your partner, you'll die a week after, max.
Man, I wonder about like that sometimes with like my grandfather. Well, I remember like he would have, if my grandmother had gone first and they were living in it, he would have been gone so quick because he just didn't know where anything was.
It happens. It happens a lot with the older generations. That's why there's the research that says married men live longer and married women live shorter. Like single women live longer.
Really?
Because especially with the older generations, less so now, but there's a lot of this. The woman is taking care of the man, so that's a lot more work for her. and also he's getting taken care of.
On the whole, men still die earlier too.
Yeah.
We don't live as long.
No, of course. But if you want to live longer, you take a wife.
Eh? Well,
a good traditional wife who will care for you.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but
yes, I would be no good at that. I'm too much of a baby.
So you're like, you're very much the one in the relationship who's like do you like when it comes to sorting out meals or whatever at the end of the day, is it even split or are you?
These days, I think I tried to cook more for him because it's a big part of my love language is to cook for people. But the last 6 months, even, I've been so lazy. I've just been busier, so I'm tired.
I love cooking. Like I like cooking from. I've never described it as a love language, but I suppose it is my love. Like I like cooking for people. I like that sort of stuff, and so I've always cooked the dinners since my wife and I were like when we first moved in together.
Yeah, right.
But that was because like I remember I realised it was going to be the thing because I'd go to like meet up with a mate and we'd go to the gym after work and then I'd get home late and she would have been home a while and I'd say, oh, what are you thinking for dinner?
Yeah.
And she'd go, oh, I hadn't thought about it. And I'm like, what do you mean you hadn't thought about it? She goes, well, I wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
She's very much, and then she was so like, she'd be like, if she wasn't hungry, it wouldn't occur to her that she might want to be hungry in the future. And so she would.
It sounds like she might have a good relationship with food, but she's not just thinking about it fucking constantly.
Yeah, no, she's not constantly. She's a mad sweet tooth, but other than that, she's good. Yeah, she's so. I've seen her like I remember because I'm very much I love food.
Yeah.
And so it's a problem, but I remember watching her just like stop eating because she wasn't hungry anymore, and I'm like, what's one got to do with the other? Like,
God.
Hunger doesn't relate to food.
Man, it is a skill I've been working on.
Yeah. Oh,
It's also probably why I've been cooking less because I did a whole show about it, struggle with disordered eating, and in recovering from that, I don't know, it just ebbs and flows. Sometimes I get really stressed out by it all. So
yeah.
Lately I've been so lazy. I've been getting the marinated chicken breasts from Woolies and just putting them in the grill
But there's nothing wrong with that sort of
make
stuff.
Some broccoli, yeah, it's good.
Because that's what tonight. I often like there's simple stuff that I'll like to do. Like tomorrow, kids are on school holidays, and the youngest one loves chili con carne.
Yum.
So tomorrow morning, him and I are going to put that in the slow cooker, get it sorted.
Oh, that is a staple in my house.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's like that's the sort of stuff too. Like where I'm like, okay, like I actually went to the butcher today because I got stir fry and stuff, and the amount I ordered. He goes, oh, how many people you got for dinner? And I said, oh, just 2 teenage boys.
Oh my God.
And he goes, they eating big at that stage, are they? And I'm like, yeah, man, they are. They're putting it away.
Yeah.
But I kind of would prefer they have something like that that's healthy and nutritious than just fill up on other stuff afterwards because they just,
they'll just keep
they're hungry.
Yeah.
At that age.
It did a number on me when I was a teenager. It was always like, boys eat more. And so now as an adult, like serving for my boyfriend and I'm like, I give him more and then me less. And if I ever eat more, I'm like, oh God, what's wrong with me?
No, that's
not good.
it's literally the stage they're at. They're both just growing, and then and teenage girls go through the same thing. Like, not that I've got teenage girls, but my niece, she'd go through a growth spurt. They're just hungry.
Yeah,
it's healthy.
Oh, hormones and stuff, they'll make you hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Massively.
Yeah.
So so you did a show about that. When did you start in comedy? Because I think you and I only met in the last sort of probably 2 years.
Yeah. Year even.
Yeah.
Yeah. We met not long ago. I started 6 years ago, a little bit over, in Brisbane. Actually,
nice.
My first couple of gigs were in Melbourne. I was living there
really?
at the time, yeah, which was probably good because they were really nice. In Melbourne, they're just like, ha ha ha, laughing at the terrible things I was saying. And then I went to back to Brisbane, where I'm from, and it was much tougher in Brisbane.
Yeah.
But great place to cut your teeth.
I've always said Brisbane breeds good comics because it must be those, especially those early gigs where you can get on an open mic. A lot of them, it's like you're pushing for the audience attention.
Oh, yeah. Some places you are competing with the topless waiters in the other room. So yeah, you're really trying to get their attention.
Yeah.
It's wild up there. It's better now. It's been better since I started. It's progressively gotten better. But if you go a second out of the inner city, it's just the same Queensland stuff, and it is a great place to learn for that reason.
There's a lot to be said for trying, like, as much as it sounds nice to be in front of nice audiences early, like, you want to mix. You don't want to be doing all the shitty audiences, because that is its own trap.
Oh, of course. A lot of people get very bitter very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you can learn to deal with that and deal with that, like, one of my big goals early on, and I don't know if this is how you've approached things, but I always admired the guys that could go into any room. Mm-hmm. Like, they just were like not intimidated. Like, one of the guys I name regularly is Mickey D. Do you know Mickey D from Adelaide?
Yeah.
Like, he's the guy. If you said to me, okay, there's an audience over there, you don't get to know anything about them, but I need you to get one comedian to go in there and make them laugh.
Yeah.
Or we murder your family. Mickey's who I'm calling.
Oh,
one, because he's met a wife and kids, so he likes them, so I know he'd put the effort in. but two, because, without knowing what he's stepping into, he's the kind of guy who can work it out. And that's kind of was one of my goals. I'd love to be able to not be intimidated by any particular audience.
Totally. I still will get a little bit stuck. I'm still learning, and I try to just be present and like be open to, have a set ready, but be open to changing depending on the room. But sometimes I do get a little stuck. I recently had a gig in Campbelltown.
Yep.
And it was, I think, maybe 10, 15 women and 80 men in the room. And it was palpable when any woman walked on stage, they weren't happy. And I think I don't know, I should have just changed my material. I should have done something else, but I think I got a little arrogant and was like, oh, fuck you guys. You're going to listen to me talk about abortion or eating disorders or gross girly stuff. And they weren't stoked. They were not happy.
But in that sense, that was a decision you made, knowing. And I think sometimes that's fine. Like, you don't have to, like, there's been times where there's audiences where I'm like, I don't actually care if they like it or not, because I'm not particularly fond of these people. Like, I don't. Yeah, it's not like you don't want necessarily any, and you could do it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm like, I could have done this joke or this. I'll talk about dogs and
Yeah, but the fact you knew and then made the decision, I don't want to because I don't like these people. That's not arrogant. It's just like.
I have it in me that I think I can change people's minds. It's the same reason I fight with people online when they comment or DM like terrible things. Sometimes I'll get into a discussion because I think I might change their mind and I might make the world a better place.
See, do you get a lot of that? Because you've got a lot of followers. Like, you've got like couple of 100,000 followers.
180 at the moment. Yeah, it's
on Instagram. So do you get a lot of just?
Yeah. It's mostly just sexual harassment, so that's lovely. I can just block and delete them. But I get people arguing. A lot of people, women aren't funny. That's a classic. You know what I found though? I don't get too bothered when someone says something about me that I know isn't true. Like when they say something's not funny, I'm like, no, actually, no, I'm funny. Or they say I'm not smart. I'm like, no, I know I'm smart. They say I'm fat. I'm like, well, I have issues with that.
when they hit an insecurity, it's the worst. It is.
But I do. I try to be ethical about it, but I do sometimes post stuff that is clickbaity because I'm playing the game. I try not to do anything because I have a podcast and I never want to make my podcast guests look bad or have anything too controversial as a clip. But sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, like. Guest and I were talking about how people shouldn't get married until they're over 30. As a just generalization, we even had the caveat of this doesn't apply to everyone, but I knew it would rile people up, so I posted it.
Why would... The other thing is that's an interesting take that people you listen to. Like, why? There's nothing interesting about having... the really, you know what, people should get married when they feel it's ready for them.
And that doesn't say anything.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Like and there are generalizations. Obviously, nothing applies to everyone, but there are generalizations that are pretty good estimates for things. Like 30, I think, is a reasonable marker for getting married. That said, I was married at, I think, 2007, so I must have been 26.
Yeah, I thought you might have been younger. That's why I was being careful.
Yeah, no, don't. I don't get offended by any of that stuff because, I'm very. That's it too. Is a lot of that, I think, reflects honestly the people that get upset by those sort of things. It reflects their own insecurity about something, and it's like they're taking it as a criticism of them. Whereas you can say people shouldn't get married till over 30, and I was like, okay. I didn't. Everything worked out fine. Hey,
exactly.
Maybe I shouldn't have, but I rolled the dice and got lucky. Who cares?
Our biggest point was over the point of your brain fully developing, which was like roughly 25 anyway. So you're still in the window.
Well, that's the thing. Like I look at we had kids pretty young, but we hadn't really planned to have kids as young as we did. But then we my wife had endometriosis pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so she needed had to have the surgery, and they said, look, as it goes on, your chances of having kids go down, and the best chances after the surgeries.
Yeah.
And so and after the first in particular, it sort of just gradually dips off was the advice we got, and we went, well, we both had jobs and we weren't going anywhere. We wanted to have kids, so we just went, okay, it wasn't on our original timetable, but we may as well have kids now.
That's so nice. I think it's also, there is something to be said for being younger parents. It's really cool. Sorry, I've got cat hair. I think it can be really cool. Like, my parents are very young. It's nice to be able to grow up together.
Yeah.
You know?
There's some stuff now I look at and go, I wonder if I would have done that different. But there's also too now, like I'm only 43, but there's times like where I look at, I've got mates with much younger kids, and I'm like, I do not miss, do not miss having that level of sleep.
There's the like energy of being younger, but then there's the finances of being older. There's so many different pros and cons. It's just like whatever lifestyle you want to do.
And in the end, to be honest, the biggest factor I think for having kids is if you're in a stable sort of a position, like both relationship-wise and emotionally. Like you can't be, kids, like you talk about underlining your insecurities or whatever's going on in your own head. Kids, they don't give, it's interesting. It's something that strips away the ego pretty quickly because your kid doesn't and it's also kind of joyful. Like, I used to love the thing about I'd get home from if you'd had the worst day, whatever.
Yeah.
You get home and there was a couple of kids that give no shit what you've been through. They're happy you're there, and then they need stuff from you. They're like, Dad, they want to get, and then they're like, all right, can we do this? Can we play this? Can we? It doesn't matter how tired you are. They're not. They're not factoring any of that in because nothing exists. Like when you walk out that door, they don't know what you're doing. They don't
They've
care.
got no object permanence.
Yeah, they're just happy you're home and want to hang out.
But that could be so good for your mental health as well. That's why people like pets to look after, because just having a responsibility.
Yes.
Having someone else rely on you, you just can't be that selfish, which is great, because otherwise what are you doing sitting there ruminating on your bad thoughts? Waste of time.
Yeah, and I think too now, I think the older you get, I think it would be hard because we didn't have too much time where we were just able to do everything we wanted all the time. If you get to the age where you've got all the money and you basically live a few years where you get to do exactly what you want all the time, you've got the time and resources to do that. Yeah, it'd be a way bigger adjustment to being on a kid timetable.
Totally. That's a really good point for people who are having them later.
Which is, once again, I'm not saying that just is my personal. This is what worked for me.
Someone told me the other day, if you're going to have kids over 35, I believe you should go to jail because you're putting your child at risk of having so many defects, like birth defects and stuff.
Oh my God.
I was like, yeah, okay, well, I think that you also don't like women having choices over their bodies.
Once again, who cares? No. There's great parents and shit parents that had them at all ages.
Yes.
So
yes, there are.
I really don't think it's the determinant factor for everyone. Yeah. For anyone even.
These people also seem to completely forget the notion of adoption. Like, it's not even, I mean, I think that, I'm going to make a generalization again, but I think these people are the kind of people who are like, my seed, I need my seed out there in the world.
Attached, it's very much attached to the ego rather 100%. Than, like, I don't get any of that. I was going to say I don't get that sort of feedback on any of my social media, which I don't really, but also I don't spend enough time. I don't really look at much of, I sort of try and post and not look.
Yeah, that's smart.
My
that's
feed
the best way to do it, I think.
These days full of videos of kids getting hurt, people cooking stuff, and cricket.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's great. I mean, my feed, what I'm actually consuming is wonderful stuff. It's all just cute animals, and I love it. It's everything that I'm putting out there and then looking at that. I know everyone's like, just ignore it. And I want to, but then also sometimes I want to delete and block things, so I have to see it. It's a tricky little tightrope.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, because even the some of the mild, like, mate, you're not funnies, or the that sort of stuff. Like, why did you have to?
I know, these people are so sad.
Well, it's also like when they tell you that your comedy's no good, I'm like, man, you've got the entire internet to watch. Don't watch the video. Just go watch something else.
Totally.
It's fine. Like, I know I'm not for everyone. I've been in rooms where I'm not for a lot of the people in the room. Don't you worry about that.
It's like when a celebrity dies and someone comments, I don't know who this is.
Great. I don't think we've ever lived in a time where people were so proud of their ignorance.
Yeah.
Like, they wear that like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
I have no idea who this is. Oh, good. So, I have no idea what cadmium is. It's like, oh, great, man. Good. You don't know something. Why is that a brag?
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Oh. What a time to be alive. I get so worried. I know that, it's arguably the best time to be alive because things are getting better slowly, but it's weird, man.
Yeah, every now and then I think about, I don't know if you've do you watch The Matrix, the original Matrix?
I have, yeah.
But the whole premise sets up with that the Matrix was set at the end of the 20th century because that's when Western civilization peaked. And every now and then I look at that and go, fuck, maybe not far off.
You might be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got a lot of stuff right. We are in the Matrix. That, we know that now.
Yeah. but that's like, I'm like, oh, maybe we did peak around 99, 2000. Oh, maybe that's, I personally, maybe because I was 18, 19, like the world was
of course,
at my feet. But music was good,
Music was really good. Fashion was good.
Well, the fashion's coming back, the 90s stuff. Big bad way.
It's pretty much anything goes. Fashion-wise, the 70s are in, the 90s are in, the 80s are in. It's awesome.
I think we're getting to, I think that's maybe a reflection of the fact that there's the cultural touchstones don't exist the way they used to. Like, there's so many different trends and groups and people living in their little culture bubbles.
Yeah, totally.
That there's way more subcultures around than probably have ever really.
It's pretty cool.
Around. Yeah, I don't.
Something for everyone, which is why you don't need to fucking comment on something that's not for you.
Yeah.
Go find your thing.
Go to
Reddit. Find a subreddit.
This is interesting. I'm going to grab my phone in a second because I didn't know a lot about your backstory. I knew you started comedy in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And you've only been in Sydney for a little while.
Yeah.
But I actually, because I thought I'll look up and just because I'll do when I do the intro later, I'll point people to your Instagram and your TikTok and everything.
Sweet.
And what came up when I was looking, because I thought I'll get all those handles, what came up was you're on a site called AussieCelebs.com.au.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Have you seen that?
I've seen that. Yeah, of course I'm Googling myself.
Can I? I'm going to grab my phone. I want to ask you. How accurate some of this information is, because some of it made me laugh just how. Okay, let's start with the basics, right? Okay, let's learn more about the comedian in the following paragraphs, which I think is a beautiful intro, letting me know that there's going to be paragraphs. Right.
There's a bit of ESL going on.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Chloe Maddren, you are late 20s?
Yes.
Yes.
That's honestly generous.
Date of birth, it just says mid-90s.
Yes, suppose so. 94.
94. Zodiac, NA. Can we update the site?
Yes.
What is it?
Scorpio, baby.
Scorpio.
Yeah, I don't know my full chart though, because no one knows what time I was born. I guess it wasn't memorable.
Does it come down to the chart?
Yeah,
like the time?
People have, the girlies are looking at their full chart now. They've got a moon rising and a sun rising. I don't know it very well.
Wow.
Yeah, so people are like, actually, we're made up of 3 star signs.
See, they lost me when they started talking about cuspers. I'm a cusper. And I'm like, I don't know. Like
they're on the cusp of 2.
Yeah. And because in some, like, I knew someone who was like, I'm a cusper. In some version of the Zodiac, they were one, and then other,
yes.
But depending on which way they defined it, and I'm like,
right.
Oh man, I don't.
Yes, because it changed.
Actually care.
Well, look, I unfortunately do really identify with a lot of Scorpio traits.
What are Scorpio traits?
Bitches. No, they're like moody, fiery, passionate, lovers. Hot, obviously. But yeah, like loyal as hell, but you don't want to wrong them. And I'm diagnosed bipolar, but even as a child, I was like crazy.
That's because I'm Gemini, which is,
Okay.
I believe, the bipolar.
Oh, because it's the 2? Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
That's as much as I know.
Nice. I don't know about anyone else's except my own.
Well, why would you?
Right.
Unless you're giving people their start, like giving them their zodiac sign, like
yeah, it's your job.
thing for the day, which used to be in the. Do you remember when that used to be in the paper?
Yeah,
for
totally.
each day.
Actually, the online magazine I worked for, I didn't write it, but the magazine owner, his wife wrote the star signs every week as well, and I just did like the formatting and publishing of hers as I was doing my work.
So what sort of stuff? What do you want to name the magazine you worked for?
Happy Mag is what it was called.
Happy Mag.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a music magazine.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
And what was your role
I was a news and culture editor.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote like 6 or 7, honestly like 10 close to the end, articles a day. News articles. It was a shit ton of work. It was crazy. And I also got to interview artists, like musicians and stuff, interview Missy Higgins. And
Nice.
It was so cool, but also just crazy amount of work for not a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the digital age we're living in, I think. That is.
I think he's probably outsourced some of it to AI now, honestly. I hope so.
Well, I've just hoped that AussieCeleb.com.au hasn't outsourced.
This could be AI. Let's see what else they
So, let's talk about your academic background that helped you get that job. You attended Queensland Academy for Creative Industries
I did.
to pursue your career in comedy and eventually mastered in music and film.
Okay, yeah.
2 disciplines that would later play a pivotal role in shaping your career.
Yeah, they're really useful now every time I get up on
So
stage.
what did you actually...
I did go to Quacky. It's a high school. It's not a university or anything. It's just
And
a
it's
high
called...
school.
You'd call it Quacky for sure. That's outstanding.
It's so lame. We had like neckerchiefs in the uniform. It was like... Oh, it was amazing. It was an incredible school, like fantastic facilities.
But from a distance, it could look like you're like
So
learning
douchey.
to become air stewards and stewardesses.
It was wild. But I did major in film and music. It was awesome. It was crazy though. We did this thing called the International Baccalaureate Diploma, which is like an internationally recognized curriculum.
Oh, nice.
Great, full on. Like I'm talking 50, 60 hour school weeks.
Holy.
Sleeping at school sometimes, there on the weekends, so much extracurricular shit as well. It was phenomenal, but by the end of it, I was so tired. And also, I started doing drugs and drinking. So I was like, I'm not going to go to university. That was enough. So that was the extent of my education. And there was certainly no comedy there.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So what sort of so did you get to choose those 2 things? What sort of, let's start with music. What sort of music what was your...
I trained, I'm a singer.
Yep.
I do some basic accompaniment on other instruments, but trained vocally with classical, jazz, musical theatre. But I was writing music. I still have not found my voice with music, so who knows what kind of music I write. I do it sometimes for fun. And I got into the school with music, but I started doing music and theatre as my majors, and theatre was like those two together were the most demanding time-wise, so it was crazy. Also, the theatre kids were nerds, so I chose film, and then film was incredible. We got to just, like, the facilities there for kids, you know, it was wild. We got proper, beautiful 4K cameras. We got to learn how to use actual film, like, just the most insane stuff. The music side, we had rehearsal studios. We had 2 full recording studios that we could use whenever we want.
Wow.
It was unreal.
All the stuff that you have to work 10 years now to get back to being able to use the same equipment.
Yes, and I was spoiled. So when I finished, I was like, all right, someone make me a start. And they're like, yeah, sure, you want to pay some money? And I was like, oh, I've got no money.
That is, yeah, it's sort of like, it's sometimes I think those sort of opportunities for kids are amazing, but also can give you a false impression of just how tough it is to get to the point where you can get access. Like young filmmakers now, the idea that they even get to play with film, like actual film, is
it's unheard
insane.
of. Yeah. But I mean, it was cool. We did, you know, you get to make some connections, and like I was a part of a 5-person group that we started, which I forget all the time. It was actually very cool. We started our own little monthly events where we had people from other schools, because we were like, we should share these facilities. We let people from other schools use the facilities, and we put on like a little show, like an open mic kind of, for music. And then we ended up making a yearly festival, and it was really cool. And I ended up, you know, running shows when I started comedy, and all of these little things. It was like, oh, these are actually very useful skills.
Yeah, pick up the skills along the way.
Yeah.
That's good. Like,
it's very cool.
And this thing, like, not to like, I don't want to sound too critical when I'm saying, like, you get all this stuff that you then have to work towards. But that's not to say that that's not a good thing. It's just it's just a little false impression. And then you go, okay, but you know, you then know what, like, you have those skill sets that when you do get to you get to, you can exploit those skills.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, it's definitely a little bit of a shock when you get out and about. You're like, oh, and I imagine for those who actually pursued a functioning career where they, you know, worked and were paid, those people were probably, you know, getting to work with these beautiful cameras and stuff, and then they want a film career. They're like running around getting coffees,
which is
for people. That'd be a little disappointing.
How everyone starts, though. Like, it's like, I think that's too somewhat character building, is the people that can get through that. It's like when you start comedy and you're at that open mic that's a crowd's hard. They're not listening. You've got to. It's that when you can go to that and then do it once, and it's not the once. It's then the okay. I'll go back and do another gig like that because you want to get better at if you need to want it to get through it, and that's where you build that character of like, actually no, I don't actually just want to do this. I kind of need to do it. This is just that's how you
work
find
ethic.
Well, but that's also how you find the people that are really.
That's true.
gonna stick with the comedy thing. I don't know, in your 6 years, how many people, like, have you thought about how many people you've seen come and go in that time? Like, in terms of
of course. Not too often. You know what, I think about it sometimes when someone finally quits after a long time of really struggling, and you go, oh, good. Probably for the best.
This is probably good for your mental health.
Some people, it's just, but yeah, of course. Because I used to run a few gigs, and one of them was like an open mic. So I see people come and go all the time, and you could get a pretty good feeling for who was going to come back and who wasn't. It's fun.
Well, what do you think is there something you can identify, like you could identify with, like some little sign of this person's going to come back, or was there a trait, or is it something more ethereal?
Definitely a bit of both. The bringing all of their friends and celebrating like crazy afterwards. I often wouldn't see them again because I was clearly like a bucket list.
Yeah, you've ticked this off. You think you're finished.
yeah. Anyone who would come up afterwards and ask for feedback pretty much always stuck around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or wanted to get to know people. I don't know. Yeah. Just a vibe as well.
Yeah, nice. All right, let's move on to our next paragraph.
All right.
This is called Chloe Maddren, Personal Life, Husband and Kids. Chloe Maddren is more candid about her love life on social media, frequently sharing peeks of her life with her husband, Jacob Lingard. You're not married, are you? No, I didn't think you were.
We are on Facebook. I think when we started dating, we put it as married, which is going to be really disappointing when we do get married because I'm not going to get to change it.
Well, the romantic love tale between the two lovebirds, I like the use of love and love, starts on August 29, 2021.
No, incorrect. No? Incorrect.
God damn it, AussieCelebs.com.au.
I think they might only be... They must have updated that because I think it used to be different. That's only like 10 days off.
Well, around June 2021, a common friend, Takashi Wakasugi, introduced them at a stand-up comedy event.
I've just gone to my Instagram and seen any photos of Jacob and I together. Yes. No, we were friends for years beforehand. Yeah. He was in town that time. We were both single. Well, actually, no, I wasn't. But I was close to
So Waka did... Whoa, okay, sorry. First off, Waka didn't introduce you?
No.
But secondly, you're close to being single.
Yeah. Jacob and I had been friends for years. We didn't get together then or anything, but I was dating
Noticed a spark?
I noticed a spark for a long time. But it was just, we were friends. And I had been dating someone who I knew I shouldn't, but it was a silly little game in my head. It was terrible. And so we just hung out. He came up from Sydney to do gigs on the Gold Coast, and I wanted to hang out. So I was also doing gigs on the Gold Coast, and we were all hanging out, and it was lovely.
And Waka said... Have you met Jacob? Yes, Waka, we've known each other for years.
I have had that happen though since Jacob and I started dating. A guy, we were sitting at a gig and a guy was like, "Hey Chloe, have you met Jacob?" And I was like, "We live together." Yeah.
This morning.
I was like, I thought I noticed something
at our house.
Like, good read, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. He looks like the kind of guy who doesn't clean up he doesn't rinse out his coffee mug before he puts it in the dishwasher.
Please, I wish we had a dishwasher.
Oh, really? Sorry. Well, we can update that on.
Yeah, we can update that. No,
Aussie celebs.
But the actual boyfriend-girlfriend moment, not far off. It was August.
Well, it's as a result of continued encounters and dates, you're showing major progress in your journey as a pair, according to this.
That's how it goes.
This is where I really like this part. You guys are aggressively pursuing your jobs and constructing your future.
Damn.
Although it's unclear whether they are married. We can clear that up. They're not.
We're not.
Because they are currently prioritising their professions and futures. Forecasting their marital plans is difficult.
That's not why. It's because I'm not 30 yet.
Still, the couple may be planning their future and may announce wedding dates on social media shortly.
Why would we announce wedding dates on social media? That'd be a crazy engagement post of like, the wedding is this time. See you there.
This is my favourite line. Currently, they're enjoying their love life to the utmost, and their future remains uncertain as they consider their next moves.
Well, Jacob would hate to hear that. He would be very anxious if he heard that. It's very certain.
But you are enjoying it to the love life to the utmost.
Enjoying it to the
that's right, because it starts so positive, that sentence. And there's just a comma. Their future remains uncertain.
Who knows what could happen?
They're having fun now, but this could go tits up shortly.
Damn.
Yes. This has, how old is born in the mid-90s, seems to be her late 20s. The exact date is not disclosed. Therefore, her zodiac sign is unknown. Well, they can update that now.
Yep, 17th of November, 94.
Chloe's nationality is Australian, while her ethnicity is white.
Yep.
Yeah.
Despite what no, never mind.
Well, here we go. How tall is Chloe Maddren?
Oh,
reportedly, Chloe Maddren stands at a decent height of 5 feet 5 inches, which is 165 centimetres. Is that right?
It's very close. Actually, scarily close. I'm 164 centimeters.
Wow.
And it is a decent height. Thank you for that, internet. It's 2 centimeters above average, actually, which I consider tall.
What is so average height for a woman is 162 centimeters?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I am actually towering over everyone.
See, I've always considered myself as, like, I grew up, when I was growing up especially, I just considered I felt like I must have just been like, well, I'm normal. So everyone was just so if you were taller than me, you were tall. If you're shorter than me, you were short.
Of course.
Like, so I've always just considered myself average of everything. So I would have thought myself as average height for men, but I don't know what an average height.
You're pretty tall though, right? How tall are you?
A bit under, I say 6'1".
Yeah, okay.
My mates that call themselves 6'1" and are shorter than me always say I'm 6'2". I'm somewhere, but I'm a bit under 6'2", I think.
I think I have a lot and have always had a lot of tall dudes around, so I get tallness blindness as well.
Yeah.
All these girls on the apps and stuff that are like over 6 foot. I'm like, I don't know, babe. I just get over 6 foot all the time. I don't know why you're trying.
Who's under 6 foot? What are we talking about? How embarrassing!
You see them?
Yeah.
Don't look down. Easy.
See, I'm the shortest of my brothers and my father.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm the runt of the litter. So yeah. So years ago, I had a photo because my best mate and like a lot of all my mates were pretty much taller than me at school and whatever, and so I just happened to be in just a group of tall guys. So I've got a photo. I used to have a photo on my desk at this place I used to work of me and my groomsmen on my wedding day. So it was my two brothers, my cousin who I'm very close with, and my best mate from Newcastle, and they're all taller than me.
Yeah, okay.
So we're standing there in a row, and one of the other blokes just walked past and goes, "Hey, Barney, by any chance in that photo, are you standing in a ditch?" It's like, nah, man, I'm just the short one.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, look, it's nice of you to not do any kind of weird, I need shorter groomsmen stuff that, I don't know, you hear people doing.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's why, because I feel like I'm about normal height.
Yeah.
Like I think roughly the height, like as a bloke that's not, like it's tall enough but not so tall that it's commentable.
Yeah, totally.
And not
totally, like Alex White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
Harsh.
Yeah. He's
really tall.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's but that's the thing, like you want to be tall enough that people don't go, "Oh, he's a bit short." Or, well, not that I particularly even cared, but that's like, sort of.
No, you don't have to care. You're lucky.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm a non-commentable height. Like tall enough,
totally.
Not so tall that it's like, Jesus, look at that big fella, or that guy must be uncomfortable in a small car type thing.
I watched a movie called Tall Girl.
It
had terrible ratings online, but I loved it. It's trash, but it was all about a girl who was like really tall, and at school everyone makes fun of her, and she's like, "Oh, tall girl."
Really?
It was really cute.
See, there was you've got to watch a movie called Tall Guy.
Okay.
Which I'm trying to think who the actor is in it, and he is tall, but what's his name? I'm trying to think of his bloody name. And this is
tall for an actor is just regular as well.
Well, I think he's genuine. Like he plays shorter in in some of the things they play, but he's in the. All I remember, it was a comedy. It was about a guy, but there is the craziest sex scene ever in it, and it's like from the mid-90s. So I was like, I remember hiring it from the video store and just being like, holy!
Yeah.
I was about 14, just like, this is the greatest movie ever. It's like at one point they're up against a wall. They just destroy this, but it's comically over the top.
But still, when you're a kid, and, there's nothing else going on that's exciting.
It might even be Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, he's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a young Jeff Goldblum too.
He's hot.
Yeah, so.
Fly, oof. Yeah. Crazy mad scientist vibes. I like that.
Yes. Well, watch Tall Guy.
Okay.
You'll enjoy it, and you'll see the scene where they're like literally banging up against it.
You might get a message if I forget. I'll probably message you and say, "What was that movie?" Because I love to watch movies.
Hey, good to know how to relax.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, this is also interesting. Chloe Maddren, net worth in 2024. As of early 2024, Chloe Maddren's net worth figure is estimated to be around $1 million US. First off, why are you transferring them to US dollars? You know you live here.
Crazy.
You're just paying fees you don't need to pay. Okay?
I insist on keeping my wealth in US dollars, okay?
It makes it easier for the sites.
I would love to know where they're making this estimation from.
Well, I can tell you. She's
you?
earned such a massive sum of fortune from her successful and awesome jobs and occupation.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Not only your jobs, but also your occupation.
The way everyone makes money.
Yes. The ESL
They
might
know
be
that
kicking
I
in
refuse
this.
to work. Sorry.
Well, it could be they know you like to walk dogs.
Yes.
So do you reckon that's the job or the occupation that they're referring to?
Oh, must be the occupation.
Yeah, I think because the jobs are all the comedy and all the other stuff. The awesome jobs. And the occupation of walking there. Her yearly income is estimated to be several thousands of dollars.
I'm really worried the tax office is going to find this because it's not true. I cannot stress. I'm so bad at money. I'm so bad, and I refuse to work too much. Like, I work hard. I put in the hours that one would do at a job. It's just that my chosen job is this.
The lack of structure does make it very easy not to well, just to go with the mood of the day sometimes.
Oh, totally. I mean, I work my ass off, but you know what it's like. It's just like gigs here, invoices coming in whenever, and I'm surviving. I'm getting there, you know. But
mate, if you're paying bills with crap you made up,
right?
Then
that's where I'm at, and I'm pretty happy with that.
You're kicking goals. That. Like, I always say to people, like, if the day you decided you were going to pursue like a creative career or comedy for a career, if that day I'd come to you and said, okay, in 6 years' time, this is how you're gonna pay the bills. This is what you're gonna be doing. Mm-hmm. Would you take it?
Mm-hmm. Like where I'm at now is where.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you've made it. That's the...
Oh, so true. Wow, what a great outlook.
That's the way, like, because it's very easy to get focused on the next thing.
Yeah,
but sometimes it's good to go, holy shit, like, just to sit on the lounge and go, you know what? These lights are on because I, thought of something funny, said it into a microphone and some people laughed.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
It's pretty incredible. I have been bipolar in a little dip lately, and so I've been trying to remind myself of all the good shit, and it's something that, like, having a gorgeous, wonderful, supportive partner but also comedian partner who fully gets it has been so helpful. He's just like, you're doing the thing that you want to be doing. That's incredible. You're not behind on anything. And I'm like, hey, yeah, that is pretty fucking cool. It is,
because I feel like it's sometimes hard not to get that thing of like, oh, I feel like I could be doing more.
Yeah.
Like, because there is no structure, like I get that quite a lot. Like, I'm like, okay, I need to, like, I feel like, oh man, I'm not doing enough. I need to be pushing harder. I need to be doing this. I need to be. But then I remember it was a couple of years ago, my wife said to me, like, she goes, you need to give yourself a day off.
Yeah, gosh.
Because, like, I'd gig all weekend.
Yeah.
And then everyone would go back to work and school on Monday. And then I was actually explaining this to someone the other day, is I get very, like, I used to get very, like, down on a Monday. Like, because I'd basically be coming off my weekend of work.
Yes.
And need a break.
Yes.
But
you wouldn't
then
give yourself a break.
I didn't want to give myself a break because I felt if I took the break, I felt really guilty.
Of course, everyone else is going to work.
Especially, like, you've got a family you're supposed to be supporting. Like, you can't just put your feet up on a Monday, man.
Oh.
But luckily, my wife is incredibly big picture about everything. She's like, no, you need to give yourself a break.
It's so important. It's so helpful. My sister's a naturopath, and she's like just freaking queen of telling people to rest. And it is a really nice reminder to get, because that's that's why I dipped, because I was burnt out. Like, just need to stop. And now I'm forcing rest and listening to my body of, oh, actually, maybe we don't have to gig every single night plus work this many hours. Like, maybe we can just have a night off. And it's been amazing. It's an adjustment to not feel that guilt.
Do you find that when you do like let yourself rest in that, do you find that's when the creativity comes back too?
Yeah, of course. You too?
Yeah, massively. Because that's it was funny when you were talking about how, like, when you were writing, you had your job writing, that all your words were getting spent on that.
Yeah.
Because there is this real thing where there's a creative itch, but if you spend all day scratching the itch for someone else or doing something that's not, then it really is. You get to the end of the day and you go, okay, I'm a bit creatively drained.
Yeah, totally.
So then you don't have the energy to put into what you want to pursue.
100%. It's like, even like nights like tonight, I had my podcast earlier. I've got a gig after this, and this is not the standard anymore, but this was the standard.
Yeah.
For so long that it was pooped. Now it's like, no, it's nice. I can do it because I've had a lot of rest. I had just had the last whole week off because I was looking after my mum, as I told you.
Nice.
Post facelift. Don't worry. She's fine. My sister, I should say.
Not the naturopath one.
No. But it's like, yeah, because I had an entire week off, then I was like, yeah, I can afford to, like, emotionally and psychologically, I can afford to spend this many hours of creative speaking output, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I'm very conscious of with this podcast, because I'm asking people to come and sit with me and chat, is I try, like, when people say, oh, is there anything I need to prep? Try and make it as natural as possible, so it's a light lift.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people to be dreading coming to do this.
Yeah, totally. I do the same with mine. I'm like, no.
Yours intimidates the shit out of me.
Why?
The clips you put up online, you're sitting on the floor.
I know. I've found that there are some men only who can't sit on the freaking floor.
Men with hip flexor issues.
You got to stretch more.
100%. I'm going to stretch more. Yes.
You let me know when you're limber enough. No, I would love to. Look, once I move house, it's going to be easier. I can have a bigger setup. I want to get one of those, like, couch bed, like a couch, but they're comfy enough, and then put the fort all around that.
Yeah, nice.
But
yeah, because you do it in a fort too.
Do it in a blanket fort.
That is very cool. It looks the clips look amazing, but I just see it and I go, oh man, whoa.
Well, if you can lie down, the whole thing, like, there are pillows behind it, so you can lean on those. I've had a couple of people just lie down for the entire episode, so that's an option if you're more comfortable lying down. But, like, come on, stretch. You should be able to sit cross-legged for an hour.
100%. I stretch. My problem is I run for fitness and also for mental fitness.
Yeah.
And I've just started going back to now, like 2 or 3 days a week. Instead of running, I'll go swim at the pool.
God, it's good.
It's so similar thing, just good for the brain.
Right.
And it means my knees aren't just always, and my, like, quads and my hip flexors aren't always like, dude, come on, give us a break.
Yeah, you need to. That's awesome, man. The pool is so good too, because even when you're running, you can listen to stuff, you can watch stuff, and like, look at your phone in general. This pool is just like, you cannot, no phone.
A couple of years ago, I learnt got my show down, like, just the order and everything for my festival show, by just going and, like, I'd go, okay, and I'd try and talk to myself, talk myself through the show.
Yes, I see that.
In the pool, doing laps, and, like, I puffed. I was doing it,
of course,
going as quick as I could.
Yeah.
In my head, going through, and then I'll do this bit, and then I'll do that bit, and then I'll do, because, like, it's like an hour show was like a long time to swim, but it was because you just can't be anywhere else when you're swimming, because there's no distractions.
It's fantastic. I joined my gym specifically because one of the locations had a pool, and it has been broken for 8-9 months now, and I love the gym. I go to the one closer, and it's just fitness first, but I go to the one closer now because I don't have to worry about the pool, but I miss it. I miss it so much. Constantly looking for pools. Man,
there's a fitness first down not too far from where I live. I remember it must have been late last year. I went to go to one of the pools, and there was I rang him beforehand, one of the local council pools. No, there's a swimming carnival. Bugger it. All right, so then I pulled out to one of the bigger ones, and as I'm pulling up, like 3 coaches of school kids, and I'm like, okay, no, and I just went, I know this Fitness First, where I've got this, like, through my wife's work, fitness passport, which is the greatest thing in the world. And so I'm like, I can get in at Fitness First, and I knew they had a pool at this other one, and so I went there, and I'm like swimming.
That's great.
I'm like, this is great. I'm like, I'm feeling really good. I'm doing laps quicker than I thought, and I thought it was a 25-meter pool. Turns out it was only a 20.
Yeah, that's
so I got that real like, man, I hadn't swum in ages. I'm like, man, I haven't lost a beat at all. I am so quick.
It's all right though. It's nice to trick yourself sometimes, you know? Yeah. I don't mind that.
It was good. It was good when I realised when I was pushing off, and I was like, I actually can do almost, like, just glide for almost half the pool. That's probably not natural.
I tried to swim at my mom's hotel this week, and it's I didn't have my goggles with me either. I didn't realize there was a pool, and no, I did. I had swim. I'm stupid. That's what that was. I don't know why I said that. I didn't bring my goggles, but I was like, that's fine. I can do, like, you know, some backstroke. I got in. It's not even a meter deep. So I'm doing backstroke. My nails were gliding across the ground of the pool, and so I did a little breaststroke for a while with just my eyes closed, but it sucked.
Not even a meter. That's not a pool. That's a puddle.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
It was nice and long, but, like, yeah, it was weird.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully the pool at your gym is finished soon. Back to it.
I can't do these public pools. They're, like, full of kids, and I'm scared. I think they're judging me.
Oh, I tell you, I did. I went for a swim at one of the local pools, and I rang, and they said, no, there are a group here, but they're doing, like, life-saving skills, so they got like 3 lanes over there, which I'm like, that's cool. So I just went and I swam, but I'd planned, because for some reason, they were upgrading the electricity around where I live, and so the power was going to be off all morning. So I thought, perfect, I'll go there. I had some errands to run, but I thought, I'll go have a swim, I'll shower there, then I'll go do my errands.
Yeah.
Teenagers going in and out of those things. I was in the disabled toilet that wasn't attached to anything so quick. I'm like, there is no way I'm going to go shower when teenage boys are walking in and out. There's the risk of things that could go wrong.
There are so many levels. It's worse because you're a guy, but I feel that even. I don't like being at the public pool because I'm like, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, I'm not taking photos. I don't want to be creepy. But also, when I'm swimming and I hear the laughter of these teenagers, I think they're laughing at me. And you know what I said to my sister? I told her that. She says, yeah, they might be.
What? Why?
She's like, yeah, I feel the same way when I'm there. And I'm like, well, now you're just egging me on.
Like I had a line in Festival Show a couple of years ago talking about when you're about, like, 10 and you're scared of high school kids. And I said, I think that comes back when you're in your 40s, because I'm back to that thing where I see groups of, I'm like, oh man, I just want to avoid these kids. But it is that thing too, teenage girls especially, if they laugh anywhere, it's like there's, like, I know they're not. I'm invisible to them, but.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They're an intimidating group. How's this today? And I do need to let you go because you've got a gig, but I got to talk to someone about this.
Tell me.
So I'm swimming at the local pool today, council pool. This couple, who he would have been, I reckon, generously in his early 30s. She would have been, I think maybe mid 40s.
Okay.
Right. Just in the lane I'm swimming, swimming, I was the only one in the lane at the time, just come in and start basically flirting up and down playing grab ass and stuff. I'm like, and it was so weird because I'm like, listen, I'm not doing laps at the swim up bar. We're at the council pool. Like there's kids over here that are like,
that's what the hotel pool is for. That's why it's a meter deep.
That's what, and they're doing it up and down the lanes. Like,
yuck.
There's old people doing exercise and special needs kids learning to swim. Like, this isn't a romantic environment.
Why? There's a Band-Aid on your foot. Like, why?
So many. And that's I was like, it's like 10:30 in the morning. I'm like, surely one of you has somewhere you can go fuck. Please leave me alone. Like, and then they give me dirty looks when I'm trying to swim past. Yeah, that was the thing that got me too. Like, I get that it's school holidays. There's going to be teenagers.
Totally.
And they're like, yeah, you guys have got nowhere else to go. And
Yeah,
you're
totally.
just like,
that is the horniest place when you're a teenager.
Yeah, but I was just like, this is not.
Fucking hell.
Oh.
No, that's horrible. I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah, the story doesn't really go anywhere, and I don't really have it, but it blew my mind. Like, grown-ups.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, it did. I was like, and they give me dirty looks when I'd swim past them because, when you're doing freestyle, there's a bit of splashing.
Oh.
I'm like, what? I'm sorry. It's not like I just started playing football in the middle of your picnic. I'm like...
They should be ashamed of themselves. You're in the right here, and you maybe should have kicked them out or gotten them kicked out.
Yeah, I can't be that... I'm at that age now where that seems real, like whatever the male version of a Karen is.
Yeah.
That's... Yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
Sometimes you got to be a Karen.
Oh, man. It took me so... Because I've only just in the last... 3 weeks started doing this regularly.
Yeah.
And I'm so judgmental now. Like, guys in the medium speed lane doing breaststroke. I'm like, you idiot. What are we doing here?
Well, sometimes the slow one is full, and then you're also just a slow little girl or guy, and so you take the medium.
Killing me.
This is why I stick to the gym. I can't share.
Yeah. I don't mind it, but like, oh man, yeah. The politics of it.
It's a lot.
It's
stressful.
Turns out though, having the shits.
Do another hour of this.
It turns out though, having the shits with the people in the lane with me makes me go faster.
Oh, totally.
Because that swim, because I've got the watch that measures the thing, and I did that swim and I was like pumped up. And by the end of it, I was like, man, there was a lot of fuckwits today. And I finished, and it's like, you've 5 new records. Like, fastest this, fastest that. I'm like, hey, maybe having the shits is good for you. Who knows?
It's not bad.
Mate, thank you very much for doing this. Before we go, do plug everything you're doing, because you're doing lots.
Yes. Well, most importantly, right now, I will have just released my hour show.
Ooh.
Yeah, online. I'm putting it up on my Patreon. So it costs money because I'm a business lady.
Yeah.
Like, everyone gives this shit out for free, but I'm trying to make some moves. So it's $5.
Yep.
It's called Hot Girl Stuff, Disordered Eating and Crippling Self-Hate. It's an hour of very funny, pretty dark material about dealing with eating disorders. There's also a song in it, which... I haven't really told anyone.
That music that you studied has been pivotal in your career.
It's weird shit.
AussieCelebs.com.au knows.
They know me. So that's up on my Patreon for my podcast called The Friend Request. But if you just go find me on Instagram, it's Chloe Maddren. All of the shit's there, and I promote it all the time. But go listen to my podcast, The Friend Request. It, like we were saying, it's in a pillow fort, and it's really cute. I make people sit on the floor, and they hate it.
Mate, thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, thank you. It's been awesome.
Excellent.
I'll see you when you stretch up, yeah?
Yeah. Getting limber.
Beautiful.